Hi everyone. This video is second in a series on how to use Google Forms and Google Sites to create an escape room for your students to engage them with the course material. So part one video was me just outlining what the games are and an overview on how I kind of plan my games out, because you do need a plan before you go into this part where you're going to actually build your form. So you can see this is my plan that I'm going to build the form off of today. So my form that I'm building today is going to be all based on the periodic table. So I have my clues and I have what I'm going to have as my solutions for the locks here. So I'm going to be referring back to this as I go through and make the form. So you really need your plan first. And once you have that, this will show you how to create the form. So you do need a Google account so you can create all these and save them for later. So if you don't have one, create one, then come back. Once you're signed in, you'll see your little initial right here and in the upper right hand corner. And then you'll see the waffle. It's just a name we've given it because it kind of reminds us of a square waffle. You'll hear other things called hamburgers and hot dogs too. It's just names we give these little icons. Okay, so if you click on that, you'll see it brings up a menu, and there's actually a more button down on the bottom. You'll click on it, and that is where you'll see the form. So you click on the forms icon there, and you're going to start a new form. So just click on this plus button by blank. So that brings up a new untitled form. So the first thing you want to do is give your form a title. Title it, you can click either here or you can click up in the left corner there. It doesn't matter, it will fill in both of them. So just name it something that you will be able to remember at least part of it later. So I'm going to call this my science tutorial breakout escape game form. Okay, so I have that there. And when I click away from it, it saves it and moves the title over. So now that I have that done, I'm going to move right into making my first question. So remember, this is where I said I would refer back to my plan. So here's where my first one is. Okay, so it's going to be the directional lock, and it's got 6 directions in it. So I'm going to call this a 6-direction lock. Pretty simple. Okay. Now, to get everything to show up, I need to click, guess what? The hot dog down in the right hand corner, the series of 3 vertical dots. And I want it to show the description. So for this, I'm going to describe the way I want them to enter the answer. So it could be, one direction could be up, so I want them to enter U. D for down, R for right, L for left, and then I want them to know to write it in all caps with no spaces or commas in between. Okay, so I have my description of how they're going to enter it. Now here, the drop down menu. This shows you every kind of question you can make. You could put in a time question, a date question, short answer. Those are probably the only ones that are going to work really well with the escape game because of what we have to do next with data validation. So for this one, I would choose short answer. It's not time, it's not date, so my third option is going to be short answer. Okay, so now that I have that there, that's right here where it says short answer text. That's where they're going to be entering their information. So I go back down here to the hot dog and I click response validation. This is what makes this question into a lock. Okay, so this is a 6-direction lock using numbers, so I'm going to change, not numbers, I'm going to change the number to text. There we go. Because I want them to enter letters. So the text has to contain, and I go back here where I put my what would solve the lock, and I'm going to copy that and go back to my form and paste it there. So that's the correct answer. And until they enter that, they're going to get this message, still locked. I could also enter a hint there if I want, like check Powtoon again. Okay. Now I want them to have to answer this question before they submit the form, so I'm going to click that button right there. And that's it. We just created one lock in our form. Now instead of starting all over with a new question by hitting the plus button up here, I'm just going to duplicate this question because it saves all the settings that I just went through. So now all I have to do is edit the information. So the next lock is a 5-digit number lock. Okay, so that's what I'm going to call it, 5-digit number lock. And in this one, I'm going to say no spaces or commas between numbers, just so that they kind of know what they're supposed to enter. So now I'm going to switch back to number. Now in this one, notice up here with the letters, we didn't really change anything in this drop down menu, but for numbers, you have a whole lot of options. And you do need to change it to equal to. That way when I put in the number, it has to exactly match or they're going to get the error message. So I'm going to check, here's my number, I'm going to copy it, go back, paste it right there, custom error text, still locked. Let's see, think protons will be my hint. You don't have to put a hint. You can. I'm just showing you how you can do that. So again, that quickly, I have another question. So again, I'm just going to duplicate, go back to my plan. It's a 5-letter word lock. So 5-letter word lock. Okay. It's going to be all caps. And it's a word, so that's pretty much all they need. Change the number to text contains, and the answer is boron right here. Oh, but I didn't put in all caps. See, you got to make sure that you don't do what I just did. Still locked. Okay. And that's it. In that short amount of time, I've created a form with the 3 locks. Okay, so this I right up here is the preview button, so we're going to look at it right now. And I'm going to double check to make sure that what I put in is correct. So I'm going to take my answers again. I'm going to take them right here and copy them. Aha. Okay, so notice I didn't get an error message. If I take one letter away, there's my error message. So at this point, you're going to want to tell your students that if you don't see the error message anymore, it's correct and move on to the next one. Because that's the only thing it doesn't do. It only gives an error message. It doesn't say, congratulations, that lock is open. Okay? So I'm going to test the next lock. Okay. Looks good. There's my error message. 5-letter word lock. Boron. Okay. And you saw it. Give me that error message again. And now I hit submit. Okay. Now, you may want to edit this part where it says your response has been recorded. So let's go look and see how to do that. Okay. So we go up here and your confirmation message. So I clicked on the settings and I clicked to presentation. You can change this from the default your response has been recorded to congratulations. You have escaped, or something like that. And then you save it. And then that is what will show up at the end. Okay. Actually, something I do like to do is I say, stand up and say, I saved the day, or something like that. Now, some people won't stand up and shout, I saved the day. Others will, because they're really excited. Okay. But here's how you know. Okay. They can't submit until they get them all right. So you can check now. You can see that what I just entered and I submitted it, I completed the form. You can have it collect email addresses right here. You can give them response receipts so that emails them a copy of what they did. You can restrict it to users of your college, so you can make them do that. You probably don't want to if they're having to use a Gmail address. Our West ISD is a Gmail though, but you can take that off of there. You can limit to one response. I don't typically select edit after submit because there's no need to. Okay, so you should probably unrestrict it, and you might want to collect their email addresses. Otherwise, you can go ahead and add another question. It'll show up at the bottom, and you can say, please enter your name. Notice how it automatically changed to a short answer. You're not going to choose data validation for this because you're not going to know what they're going to enter because everybody's name will be different. But this will allow you to tag their response with a name. So if you want to see who got it, who was able to complete the game and who was not, that sort of thing. Okay. So up here, you can either do that. Let me go back. So you see when I said collect email addresses, it's asking them to put it in. Or you can just have them put in their name like this. So if you don't want their email, sometimes they have weird emails and you want to see their name instead, then unclick that, and it's only gonna, you would need to add a name question. Okay, that is it for this video. The next one will show you how to insert all of this into a Google site. See you then.